So about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was trying to look for a new anime to watch, and I was just binging through TikTok and being a loser as I usually do, doom scrolling. I ended up coming across this one anime known as Talentless Nana. Now at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty skeptical as the animation and main characters seem kinda flimsy, but it's actually pretty peak, y'all. So about 10 years ago in this show's universe, people started being born with supernatural abilities and they started being deemed as the talented. And they weren't really that high in their spawn rate, as it was only like maybe 2 in 10 people that are born with it. But again, they're still being born with some crazy individual and just overpowered powers. And because of that, the talentless, meaning normal humans, started to feel threatened by those abilities, as again, they could really cause collapse at a environmental, governmental, or even a global scale. So what they decided to do was go to war against them. But the war lasted for about, 5 to 10 years. And after that, they ended up coming with the truce that they wouldn't decide to interfere with each other anymore. Where in actuality, the talentless were actually trying to stop the talented from trying to wreak more havoc. So what they started to do was that anytime a talented was born, they'd have them go through elementary, middle school, and normal people until eventually when they got to high school, they'd have them being inducted into this secret program where they're supposed to be learning how to defeat the enemies of humanity. But in actuality, they actually been lying to all these students, as there's no such thing as the enemies of humanity. So what they do is they lead all the kids onto that island where they have to stay there for whoever knows when, and they basically send some secret agent who's supposed to act under the guise that they have abilities when in reality they don't, with their whole purpose being able to assassinate every single student there. Now as to why they're doing this, again as I mentioned before, even though the talented and talentless technically have a truce, in reality the talentless still want to kill all of them. So yeah, this is the best way to do it without any arising suspicion. Which then leads us into the reason of why the anime is called Talentless Nana, as if you could pick up through context cues as I was explaining the context beforehand. Yeah, Nana is the assassin that's supposed to kill all the students in this age group. So I'll admit the anime did a really great job of disguising this the first episode, as the whole first episode was essentially dedicated to this one guy who actually had quite the OP ability, with his ability being able to shut down any other talented abilities within the area. And Nana, acting as though she has the ability to read minds, tries to work herself in as her friend and basically just trying to seduce bro platonically, if that makes sense. But by the end of the episode, she eventually reveals her true colors, and that's where the show really strikes off. The reason this show was so coveted amongst the anime community is because, again, this show presents itself as this kind of battleground shonen anime where kids are supposed to fight to prove themselves the strongest and then eventually kill these monsters that are around them. But in reality, it's a lot more deeper than that. As I mentioned before, Nana is the assassin and is basically like Among Us. But the best part about it is that there's actually students, or should I say, even more than students really, that actually suspect her being a murderer. And eventually, I won't say whether or not she does or doesn't get caught, but I will say that suspicion starts to get a little crazy. Another interesting part about the show is that the island that Nana is currently trying to kill her set of students in isn't actually a new island. It's actually been reused, and the previous students, instead of having to send an assassin from the talent list, it turns out the previous students ended up getting into a civil war amongst themselves, with only the victor remaining and still being stuck on the island. And he's trying to also figure out why or how are the talents being able to knock out all these talented people, and why is the truce not being held up to its full capability. And so besides the many pluses and just great things about this show, I will say the one thing that really does annoy me about this show is the fact that Nana really should have been caught a while ago. For example, there's an episode where this one guy, or should I say this one girl, has the ability to raise people from the dead. And basically they had this funeral for one of the people that Nana killed, and she was like, hey, in order to find out who killed him, I really can just raise it from the dead and have him explain who did it. Now, the show should have been ended right then and there, but instead they're able to use this anime bullshit science, or should I say gaslighting science, where basically Nana was able to convince the whole class, hey man, we're desecrating someone's grave and that's pretty rude and we just shouldn't do that. So you know what the class said? Fuck it, I guess we're just gonna leave his murder unsolved, I guess. But yeah, overall you guys should definitely check this anime out. And one last thing to say about it, yeah, it's not only just, psychology, thriller, and a couple fights here and there. The characters are actually fleshed out and have pretty good reasoning behind what they're doing. Even Nana has quite the tragic backstory for someone who's so intent on killing people. But yeah, again, you guys should definitely check this one out. Talentless Nana is one of them ones that unfortunately will never get season 2, but we still gotta run it up anyways, y'all. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys stay blessed out there, and make sure to keep praying on, bro. Make everything you want become something that turns into something of your fruition. So hope you guys stay safe, and see you guys next video.